Hi there, this is another timeless message for the collective, and the topic I wanted to actually cover today is whether or not if there's any possibility that twin flames actually don't come into union with each other. Now, this is a very interesting topic because we know that twin flames actually come into contact with each other to activate each other on the twin flame journey. So how can it actually be possible that they don't actually come into union with each other? Now, there actually are two scenarios in which this is actually possible, where the twin flames don't come into union. So I just want to go over two of these. The first scenario in which it's possible that twins actually don't come into union is if the feminine energy in the connection, which is the chaser, actually doesn't do the inner work on the journey. Now, I know we've talked about this a few times before in my previous messages, and this is actually pretty simple to understand, that the calling of the divine on the twin flame journey is actually to go within. However, if the feminine energy, which is the chaser in the connection, just simply fail to understand the steps they need to take on this journey, or continues the outward focus of just looking at the masculine energy in this connection, or actually resists the journey. So they know the action they have to take, but they're just dragging their feet. In that case, the masculine energy in the connection can't and won't be magnetized towards their divine counterpart. Remember that the feminine energy in this connection, which is the more spiritual twin, the chaser in the connection, they are the leader in this connection. Without appropriate inward action from their end, union just won't happen. Now, the masculine energy in this connection is dependent on the feminine energy to pull their focus inward, and that will actually trigger the masculine energy to move from the lower chakras to the higher chakras in order for the two to unite. So again, basically, this connection is heavily dependent on the feminine energy doing the inner work and pulling the masculine energy along in order for union. Now, with that being said, it is possible that the feminine energy, as much as they are not understanding the signs, synchronicities, understanding the work that needs to be done, or is simply just avoiding the work and dragging their feet, Kundalini could actually come along and force the feminine energy to awaken. The only thing, though, is when Kundalini gets triggered is not something within the control of the twins. That is strictly an intelligent energy that needs to be triggered on its own when the time is right. The great news is Kundalini actually can't be stopped once it's actually awakened. The whole purpose of Kundalini is to awaken and move through your chakra system while it comes out of the crown. However, again, this can take quite a long time and is actually not in your control. Now, the second scenario in which it's possible that twin flames actually don't come into union is when the feminine energy, who is leading in this connection, which is the chaser, chooses by their own free will, after coming into the state of oneness, they can decide that they no longer want to be in union. Now, you might ask, why the heck would the feminine energy choose that? And the reason for that is because the pull that you feel towards your twin flame actually is meant to force you onto an inner journey. Once you step into a state of oneness, and I've mentioned this before, is you see everybody as being one with you. You understand that anything that's been created in this world has been created from source, and we are all one. And so therefore, there is no longer a craving or a longing or a pull towards your divine counterpart. You understand that separation no longer exists, and that is just an illusion of the mind. And therefore, in that moment, when you no longer crave your divine counterpart, you can actually exercise your free will to say, I think I'm okay being single right now. I actually don't want to come into union. Now, the masculine energy in the connection may still want the union, but if the feminine energy is choosing to not come into union, of course, this union won't happen. You will love each other from afar, possibly go on with other soulmates, but you don't necessarily have to come into union. Again, I would say this is very rare, but I have seen it play out for a couple of different individuals. So this is definitely something that could play out. Definitely depends on the feminine energy. You may think, what is the point of all of that if that is what they will choose? But the truth is, at least at that point, you have the free will to do so. Right now, when you get activated onto the journey, you are being pulled into a connection, whether you like it or not, just tugging at you, pulling at you all the time. So stepping into the state of oneness, you will no longer crave your divine counterpart. It's just something that will come very natural. And so there you go. Those are the two main reasons that union actually may not happen for twin flames. One being the feminine energy is just a little clueless on what's required, or drags their feet, doesn't want to do the work, and therefore that can really slow the process down, the healing journey, as well as getting to that state of oneness. And number two, just to recap that one, is literally the feminine energy finally stepping into unity consciousness or state of oneness and realizing that they want to use their free will to no longer be with their divine counterpart. So they could come into union, but are choosing not to be with their divine counterpart. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless.